Hello everyone, I'm Bronna Francis from broadcasting from the Holler studio at KVEC, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the Ripple Effects program, and this will be our first video talking about that. So we'll go through this PowerPoint, and if you have questions, I have my phone number on the end, and we'll just kind of take it from there. Okay, the first thing you'll see is support services. This is where you log in on your dashboard, and then we'll go through this and review how to get started and the frequently asked questions. And then you can always email me or call me at this number, and it'll be at the end also. And I'm not sure if I said I'm Bronna Francis working with the Ripple Effects program. So, okay, this is where you log in, your school logs in to your Ripple Effects program. It's ripplekentucky.org. rippleky.org. Okay, when you first see this, you can log in two different ways. You can log in where it says school, and you can come down and find your school, and on the bottom you will see the dashboard login for Ripple. And when you see that, okay, that's another way that you can log in. When you see that, you will have an admin code for the administrators of the program, or you will have a teacher code for the teachers and a student code. If you log in through the school, you will find your school, and you click on your school, and then it will have a login for your school, and it will say Hornets if you're the Hornets, or your Panthers, whatever your school mascot is. And we'll go through that again in a little bit. Okay, right here you will see the different programs that you have. If you're second grade through fifth grade, your kids will be doing the Ripple Effects for Kids, and you can see where you click onto the dashboard. And I'll show you what that looks like when we click on that. If you're sixth grade through 12th grade, you will do the Ripple Effects Teens. And then for your educators, also your staff, and those of you that have used the Ripple Effects program, you will know this. Your staff also has topics that they can do on Ripple Effects for their staff, for their learning. Where do you find the programs to get students going? And this is, we talked about that, it's ripplekentucky.org, and every site has different ways of accessing. We're going to go through those two that I just mentioned to you. There's over 400 topics that your kids can do, and this is wonderful. It's a wonderful program, and I really hope that you're using it. If you're not, I really hope this is the year that you're really going to put it into service. There's many different topics. There's bullying. There's how to get along with others, being assertive. There's so many. Well, actually, there's over 400. So we'll go on, and I'll show you some of those. Okay, when you click onto the dashboard, you will see this, the Enter Access Code. I will send you those access codes, and if you have yours from last year, they're still the same. Each one has a different code, students, educators, and administrators. Okay, if you're an educator and there's some of the topics that you might think are not appropriate for your kids, you can just click on that topic and slide it over into the blocked topic list. You just click on it and it moves over to the blocked topic. Okay. And you can always change that back and forth however you want to do that. And this is how your screen will look. And if you're the staff or the educator or the admin, you go to customize topics, and this is what shows up. But we'll go through that too. And then you click here if you want to put it back over on the side that they can have access to it. I clicked on the program link and nothing happened. The most common reason for this is that your site may have security settings in place that limit the website access. So you need to just go to your IT person in your district. Codes and passwords. I was given an access code, but where do I put it? And I just showed you those. When you click on the dashboard, that's where your access code goes. And I will send those out to you again, but I know like a new year beginning, you probably need another copy of those. Why are there different access codes? Of course, there's different access codes for administrators because they can see what their students are doing and the teachers can see what their students are doing. Unless it is a privacy topic that they do not want you to see, then you won't have access to that. Can I make up a number for student ID? You can, but at the bottom where it says, once you log in, when you put Hornets in or your mascot, whatever, it'll show you a little ID, and you can use the same ID for all your kids, but they will be putting their own password in, so that's how they will get on there. And it makes it much easier for you if they all have the same ID, but they have a different password. I have to keep resetting student passwords. Can I just assign them one? It's important for the kids to be in charge of their own passwords because they do have private exploration and journal entries that they want to keep safe. That might be something that they're not ready to share with their teachers. My student put the wrong name in when creating their account. How can I fix this? If your student entered a different name or used a nickname when creating their account, you're currently not able to change that. They will just have to keep using that number. And if the student's ID is entered incorrectly, you'll have to edit that through the educator dashboard. And what I suggest to you is just go on ripplekentucky.org and look around and play around with this and see what you think about it and become more comfortable with using it. You can also go to the data viewer and the data viewer to see how many kids have used it, how many minutes have they used it. So that's a really good thing for you to do. And if you're seeing data from another school district, every district has their own dashboard access codes. So you may have accidentally put another district's code in. You can create your playlist for a student in planning an assessment kit. That's if you have a student, say you're doing RTI, you're doing tier 3, and you have an intensive situation or a student that is at the top level. You want to plan if it's a bullying issue or if it's something like that. That might be something that you want this student to do. And I'll talk about that for a little minute, for a second or two, because you can also do a whole group. Say you want to do a group, you can log in as a kid, or that you're not going to take do the work or whatever, but you want to do the program or that lesson or that topic. You can do that. You can throw it up on your smart board or your clever board and go through that as a whole group. Counselors, if they do classroom visits or classroom lessons with students, that would be a really good thing for them to do. Okay, this is another question. If you've imported a student name but you're not seeing them in the data review, it's likely because the student hasn't signed into the intervention or assessment yet. If they haven't signed in, there's not going to be anything to show for that student. Okay, and we talked about this. Okay, I'll come back to that in a second. Why can't I see all topics names in the data viewer? Only the skill building topic names show up by name in the data viewer. Sensitive topics, like we talked about before, they're folded into the personal exploration category, where the students, it's a personal issue with the students and they're not ready to share that. Okay, this is if you're working with, which everybody's working with RTI students, if you're doing tier 1, 2, or 3, you can go to tools and interventions on this website right here, and they'll give you all kinds of ideas that you can use, and use your ripple effects for that. You'll have your documentation, your evidence that you have done these strategies with these kids. And the social emotional learning in our trauma-informed schools, this is a really good program to use for that. Okay, currently these are the schools that have the programs. So if you haven't used the program, because when at certain times, maybe every 3 months, we can run a report and see how many minutes that your kids, not each kid, but how many minutes total have your kids used the Ripple Effects program. I just really want you to think about using it and really putting it into effect, because it's an excellent program and it will benefit your students. And here's the rest of the schools. We have about 69 schools, I think, to be exact, that are using the Ripple Effects program. Okay, I'm going to go back here just a second, and I'm going to go over this one. Okay. Okay, right here. Okay, let's look right here. If you want to access, you've got two ways of accessing your program. And when I do the next video, we'll go through the program, actually access it as a student, access it as a teacher and an administrator. So when you go through the two ways to log in, you can go to schools. Scroll down, your school will be on there, and you click on your school, and it'll show you just a little line, and you put your mascot in. If it's a hornet, if it's a panther, whatever. And you guys already know those. I think you have those. You will do that. Okay, this was for the survey, the putting your pins in, so we're not doing that right now. Okay, another way, like we talked before, is click the dashboard down below, and when you click the dashboard, it will take you to the program again, and you will see this right here. You will see your different programs that you can access. And if you want, say you want to do a whole class on bullying, you could do that and put it up. And so what we will do next video, we will go through that program and show you how it runs, and it is an excellent program. So if you have any questions, I'm Bronna Francis at KVEC, and my phone number is 606-477-7968, and I also, you can email me at bronna.francis@hazard.kyschools.us. You know all the rest of it. So for today, thank you. I appreciate you watching the video. So we'll holler at you later. Thanks.